test, does it really everything on the centrifuge? And we have here different service modes, menus. And now I will show you the C control board and the 3 different service menus. For the first menu, we have to press or hold the program key for 8 seconds. This is the machine menu. And now we can change the lock. It's the same like the small centrifuges. We can lock these keys here, change the pin of the entry for the lock, read the information about the centrifuge here, 380R, the mains voltage, and the rotor code and the maximum RPM of the rotor and the radius of the rotor. We have also here on this device the tacho sensor for the recognizing of the tacho code, because we can use here different rotors, and this device reads also automatically the tacho rotor code, and then knows the maximum RPM and also the radius. Software version, the version of the frequency converter. Important thing, the operating time, externally and internally. You will find in the sales manual the description of the externally and internally time, what means externally and what means internally time, the numbers of starts, the cycles, very important. You can set the cycles. We have here a cycle counter. If you reach the cycle, if the centrifuge reach the cycles, you get here an error message. It means maximum cycles passed. In this case, you have to change the rotor or the buckets. It was the operating time mode. And now the settings. It's the same. We can set or adjust the sound bell, the acoustical signal, the error sound bell in case of an error. Here you can set the last program. For example, if you set, or if the customer works with program 2, if you switch off and switch on, and the last program 2 is displayed, or you can change it, for example, to the first program. If you switch off and switch off again the device, the first program 1 is shown. You can change the temperature unit in Celsius and Fahrenheit, the ramp unit We can change the ramp unit in time or in steps. Steps means 0 to 9. 9 is the high and the fastest break and start. Or you can say start or set 5,000 RPM and reach the 5,000 RPM, for example, in 10 minutes. It's also possible. FC RCF integral on off. So on the display, the second B ramp, it's only for special programs. This is not so important. That's only important for our robotic devices. And we also can set the cooling RPM, for example, and the background light. That was the settings. This was the machine menu, and now I will show you the service menu. It's for you also important. For this, hold the program key for 16 seconds. Now we are in the service menu. Press the program key. And now we can read the error history. The last error code was 11. It means mains interrupt. Second last was 52. It was an issue with the cooling system. And you can read all error messages. The same one, the imbalance event history. One was the last imbalance, and in which area, which will values, and all events. One was the last rotor changing. It was in this time here. The last operating time change, imbalance changing, and the offset. This was the service menu. And now the last one, the select menu. For this, we have to switch off the device. Hold these two keys here, the stop and the open, stop and the start key, and switch on the device. Hold it, and now we are in the select menu. Press the program key. Now we can read the version. The reason for this is we use this C control board in different centrifuges like Rotanda, Centrimix, and then we can set here the version on this device. Like here, if you install this one in for example, in this special model here, you can set it, but it's not important for you. Offset values, very important. If you change imbalance sensor or the front panel, you have to set the offset values again. I repeat what means the offset value. That's the difference between the real temperature and the measuring temperature. We have a manufacturing protocol. If you need the offset values, please write us an email with the type number or the name of the device and the serial number, and we can send you the manufacturing protocol, and on the manufacturing protocol you will find the offset values. That's the same. For example, we have the first one is the temperature on the display. We set 24, and the second one was the measuring temperature. How we measuring the temperature? We measuring with liquid like glycerin, measuring it, make a test run and measure it again. And this is the value between this one, the real and the measuring temperature. We have here 3 temperature sensors. T1 means the temperature sensor in the chamber, the black one. This here, if you change the sensor, please make an offset adjustment. T3 is on the condenser. Yes, only these 2 temperature sensors. The imbalance. We have here also a imbalance sensor. You can adjust the imbalance in percent. Now we are in 90. If you go higher, the device goes sensible. If you go down, the imbalance is not so sensible. We have different imbalance. We have different imbalance settings, different imbalance values for different rotors. You have to set for every rotor if the customer uses the imbalance value. The whites you can find in the service manual. For example, for this rotor, we say the device must shut off. It's only example with 20 grams. You have to set the rotor, set to 20 grams. It works. Okay, if it don't work, set it again. That's the procedure. If the customer changed the rotor, for example, with the imbalance value only 10 grams, you have to set again. It's very important. And the setup, OEM version, it's not important for you. T2 sensor, we don't have here the T2 sensor on the lid. That's the reason why we have here this one. The baud rate is for the frequency converter. I think it's not so important for you. Key switch, we don't have here key switch. Average time, that's maybe an important setting. You can set the average time from 0 to 180 seconds. That means in this time or after this setting time, for example, 30 minutes, the display shows the real temperature. For example, you set 20 degrees. After, in this time, the centrifuge shows you the real temperature. After this time, you can see the right temperature. That's only the time you can change it. 30 is the standard time, the setting, manufacturing setting time. Mains voltage. Also with the automatically lit after each run. And block off the start button. But that's also not important for you. Setup. Yes, this was a setup. And the last one is a test menu. It's one of my favorite. You can check everything on this device. It's not like the small centrifuge. We have here more options. Go forward with the program key or go back with the T and C, the time and temperature key, like here. Check the display. The imbalance act. If you want to change this act, make this here. We simulate imbalance, and then you can see the values change. That means it works. We have here two sensors. One sensor is on the top of the rotor and on the bottom of the motor. Turn the rotor and it's the same. These two sensors works, it's fine. LEDs. Now press the key, press the program key. The program key works. Temperature, RCF, RPM. Well, it's okay. The error LED, like the universal and micro, we have on the electronics an arrow key. In case of error, you can see the error LED is blinking, or yeah, it's on. Sound bell, same. Lid lock. You can hear it and see it. Yes, it works. The lid is very important in case, for example, of the error message with the error code 06. It means one of the micro switch of the lid lock is defective. You can test the micro switch like this here. Have here left. On the left side, the micro switch on the left side, the micro switch on the right side for the recognizing of the lid lock of the lid. Sorry, and we have two micro switches on the right side, on the motor block side. We have a normally open and normally closed. That's these two states. For this, you can use this Allen key. Go to the emergency hole and turn. Turn it. Now you can see the normally close shows 1. It works. And the open one it also works. Well, you can test it, for example, in case of error 6. So the temperature on the condenser, we have on the condenser temperature sensor. This is the temperature now at the condenser. The device calculated is in millivolt automatically. We don't have a temperature sensor on the lid. The temperature sensor on the chamber, you can test it. Hold this one with your hands. or fingers, and then you can see the temperature goes up, goes down. Yes, goes up. 26. It works. T out is one of the temperature sensor on the electronic frequency converter. Key lock, we don't have here a key switch. That's it. Frequency temperature and the voltage of the frequency converter. Cooling unit. Switch on, switch off the compressor. It works. Works. The heater relay. You can hear the click. The relay is working. This is the relay of the fan. You can hear it, the click, and the fan works. Okay. The second relay, reserve relay, the mains earth. And you can also check the fan of the condenser. Runs faster. For the rechecking, you can set 50%, only the half one. It also works. Let's go slower and switch off. The next one, jumper version, is not so important. Also the EEPROM version, module code is also not important. This one is only for the robotic device. It's also not important. But we have this also in the test menu of this device because, I repeat, we can use this control board in all of our table centrifuges. That's also for the robotic. So this was the function test. In case of an error, you can check firstly the function. Go back. And now we go into the centrifuge. Switch off. And plug it. So design is like universal. We have here also only a front panel with the C control board and the encoder and the electronic part on this metal part here. We have here one electronic board for the frequency converter and the main board. The advantage of this electronic or this device is you can make a software update. On the right side, you can see the lid lock. Here we have a metal eccentric, the motor block of the lid lock, and the micro switch here on the left side. But it's easier for you to change the lid lock completely in case of error. For example, in most cases of the error message 06 is the left micro switch is defective, or the grease blocked the micro switch, like here. We have here the grease, and the grease flows to the micro switch, blocked the micro switch, and then you get the error code 06. But it's better for you change completely, because it's also possible that this one is defective, or this one. If you change this one completely, you don't need to drive for the second time to the customer. And yeah, we have here the filter for the power input, here the switch, and on the left side the braking resistor is the over temperature switch for the braking resistor. It's a bimetal switch. It means in case of over temperature, the switch goes open, you get a error message, and in this case you have to wait for 10 minutes, and then you can switch off, switch on the device again. It works, it's fine, it don't work. You make a troubleshooting or change components. So this one is a small fan, Licht. Just a second. Darunter. This one is a small fan. They cool it. It's electronic. And the heat one flows up from this side. We also have here on the right side the nameplate with the number, serial number, reference number, manufacturing year. Here we have also a nameplate. We have two gas springs here. There's a new one. On the old one we have the black one. If you have the old version with the black gas springs, you have to change this cover here also. If you don't change this cover, the gas springs, you cannot fix the gas springs. But it's also included as a set, in the set, with two gas springs and this one. And then the same, like universal, here the motor cover and the sealing ring. And the technical design of the cooling unit is the same. We have here the same same technical design of the condenser, a little bit bigger. Same fans, same temperature sensor. The temperature sensor, all the same one, only the different one is the dimension of the cable. That's the reason why we have different spare part numbers, order numbers, but the function one is the same. I have here the compressor with the starter relay, starter condenser. It's also available as a set. So that's it. That was the Rotina 380R. Now we go to the Rotanta 460R. We have also the Rotina 420R, but the design is the same one like the 460R. Dimension is same, only we have different. The different thing is only the motor, but the technical design is the same. We have the same C control board, the same electronic board. That's it. We have here also the cooling system on the Rotina 380R on the backside, like the Universal. The cooling system of the Rotina 420R and 460R is on the right side because we have a bigger chamber. Kids. So the Rotanta 460R. Switch on the camera, please. So is that what I mean? We have here on this the cooling system on the right side because we have here a bigger chamber and we design it so and not on the length. We have here 460 millimeters, the same control board, the same temperature sensor on the condenser. A little bit different gas springs. We have here also a condenser, compressor, filter. Dryer for the cooling system is the same. The fan. Ich mir einen großen Stecker. Now I will show you on this device the flash, the software flash. We also have here a motor with the motor cover, imbalance sensor, and the tacho sensor with the same technical design. So we make a software update on this device. Why is the software update important, or in which cases we need a software update? If you have an old device and you buy a new rotor, you have to make a software update because the new rotor, the old version of the Rotanto or Rotina, don't know the new rotor is a new code. That's the reason why we're flashing, why we make a software update. It's not so, it's very easy. You only need the flashing tool. It's also available as a spare part. What is included? We have a special software version, a software file. You need a converter USB to RS-232 is also included in the spare part. This cable here with a flat cable. Now we need a notebook. Stimmi Akku bitte. Connected the USB port into. Thank you. Of course, unplug the device for your own safety. I think it's clear. Remove the front panel for the flashing, for the update. Remove it. And now you can see. Now you will find the jumper here. We have to change this jumper position. I hope you can see it. It's this one. This is the normaling position. And now we have to set this jumper position, change this position to the programming mode. Where is the programming mode? Unplug it. We have here 3 pins, 1, 2, 3, and the first and second pin is for the flashing, for the update, and the second and third is for the normally position. Change the position. Install the front panel again. Front panel, please. Or you can firstly connect the USB converter with a flat cable to the device. We have here on the left side, the connector. Plug it. Install the front panel. You can hold it or install it back. And then we need power. Switch on the device. And now we can see on the display the half matrix. This is the programming mode. So open the Hettich Flash 2 software. It's also included in this kit. Open the Hettich Flash. Connect to target. And now we have a communication. You also find this procedure in the service manual. So, for example, we have here the software version 1.20. We make a downgrade, and now we can flash the old one, for example, 1.18. Choose 1.18 and start the flash. If you have a mains interrupt during this procedure, don't worry, you cannot destroy anything. You can start this procedure again. You can make an upgrade and a downgrade if you need. the software version, please write us an email, and then we can pass you the right software version. It's also available as a spare part, at their own spare part number. I repeat, you have to flash this the software update in case of accessories. If you need a new accessories like the latest rotor, you have to flash it. You can flash the Rotina, or you can flash all or centrifuge of the C control board. It's very important. You cannot flash the universal or the micro. You can only flash all centrifuges with the C control board. Now we have to wait. We have 2048 digits as a hexal code. The last seconds. It's finished. And we have to wait. No, it's finished. Press exit. And that's it. Switch off the device. Unplug the computer with the device. Change the position of the jumper. Unplug it. Change the position again to the normally mode. And now switch on the device. And now we will see the version 1.18. Yes, 1.18. That's it. That was the procedure of the software update. So now we go to our next device, the CenturyMix. What is the CenturyMix? The CenturyMix. So thank you. CenturyMix has the same design like the Rotina Rotina 380R. We have here in this device the motor of the Rotanta 460, because we can here make or reach here make much kinetic energy. Sorry. That's the reason why we have here a bigger motor, but the technical design is the same one. We have only here the rotor, the different motor and the different motor cover. You can also use normal rotors in this device. We have also here the C control board. That means the same procedure for the flashing, and if the customer buy a CentriMix, he can also use normally rotors for example of the Rotina 380 in this device. It's also possible. For that, the customer only have to remove this gear here. 4 screws, remove it, and then you can install a standard rotor. It's the same one, I think it's clear. The same front panel with the control board, same electronic, same cooling system, only the different thing. It's this here, the gear block, the gearing, and we have here in this base here the motor of the Rotanta 460, because we have here more kinetic energy like the Rotina 380R. So that's it. Now we make a break for 20 minutes. After the break, we go to the stand centrifuges like Rotixa, Rotosolenta, Head Info, and Head Cubes. See you in 20 minutes.